Hey, what's going on guys? Luis here and welcome to another PC build, this time for the month of August. And we're doing it with the budget of $3,000. And believe me, I know that 3,000 bucks seems like a lot of money to build a PC. But this is just a fun little project for me to pick and choose some of the best parts that I would personally go with if I had this kind of budget. Now, I don't actually expect anyone to build this by any means, but if you actually do, make sure to tweet me some pictures at Zaxpertech. Link down below in the description. I would just love to check out and see how the final result would come out to be. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look. So for the case, I chose to go with the NZXT Phantom 530 in red. Now this is going to be a full ATX case from NZXT that not only looks really good, but it also has a lot of features. It's a relatively big case, so it has a lot of space, and it also comes with interchangeable hard drive cages as well. It's completely made out of steel and it's covered in a red glossy coat of paint that looks absolutely amazing, and it has all the support you need for water cooling, and with 8 total expansion slots, it's going to be the perfect package for our build. And for the processor, I chose to go with the Intel Core i7 5390K. And this is going to have the latest Haswell architecture. It's going to be clocked in at 3.5 gigahertz, and it's going to have a total of 6 cores, making it a complete monster for gaming. It may not seem that fast at 3.5 gigahertz, but even if you don't overclock it, which you definitely should by the way, you're still going to get amazing results. And it's just an overall great X99 CPU to go with that has a lot of features and is well worth the high price tag. And to make it all better, I'm also pairing it up with the Corsair H100i liquid cooler to keep things running cool and quiet. And for the motherboard, we're gonna go with the Asus X99 Deluxe LGA 2011. And this is probably one of the best motherboards that you can go with for an X99 build. It has a lot of really cool features, but one of its main features is a 5-way optimization where you can literally overclock and cool any CPU with just one touch. And of course, it's super optimized for Intel X99 or Intel i7 processors, which is definitely something that we want. And it also has a 3x3 802.11 AC Wi-Fi with speeds up to 1300 megabytes per second, which is definitely awesome. And for memory, I chose to go with the Crucial Ballistix Sport 8x4 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, and that's going to be a total of 32 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, which is going to be plenty of performance for gaming and multitasking, and it's going to be ideal for something like an iFinity setup where you have triple monitors. But obviously, if you want to save yourself a couple bucks, you can always go with 16 gigs, and it's not going to be a huge deal. Now for storage, I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm using an SSD and a hard drive in this build. So for the SSD, I chose to go with the Samsung 850 EVO 500 gigabyte SSD, and I'm pairing that up with a Western Digital Black 4 terabyte hard drive. Now the reason why I chose to add an SSD to this build is because we're using a very large budget, and it's also going to make it a lot faster. But obviously 500 gigs alone from the SSD is not going to be enough storage, so that's where the hard drive comes in. And with a total of 4.5 terabytes, you should definitely have enough storage for all of your needs. And now for the graphics card, you guys probably already guessed it, but I chose to go with the EVGA GTX Titan X. And this is easily the main attraction of this whole build. The card alone is worth like $1,000. It's got an insane 12 gigabytes of DDR5 VRAM and a clock speed of 1127 megahertz. Now I personally didn't go with a 2-way or 3-way SLI because I feel like one card is probably enough for what most people want to do, but this card actually has support to go all the way up to a 4-way SLI if you want to get that crazy. I would say this is an ideal graphics card for someone who plays on multiple 4K monitors, or if you absolutely need the best FPS on every single game. Either way, it's a beast of a card, and I can only dream of buying it one day. And finally, the whole heart of the build is going to be the power supply, and in this case, I chose to go with the EVGA 850W, and if you haven't guessed it by now, it has a total wattage of 850 watts, which is going to be definitely more than enough to power this entire build. It also has a 10-year warranty, and it's pretty reliable, so you can't go wrong with it. And that about wraps up this month's build. Thank you guys so much for watching. The entire part list is going to be in the description down below as always. Give this video a thumbs up if you guys want to see more PC builds like this one. And again, tweet me if you actually decide to put this whole thing together. I would love to see how it turned out. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I always appreciate all of your support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.